Hello, and welcome to Blockchange Solidarity, the podcast where we ask what blockchain can do for us. What is blockchain? What is crypto? Could it rescue us from our current dystopia? Come with us as we explore the very real potential to enhance human freedom and as we delve into the darker side, predicting the Bond villain potential of this current bleeding edge. Join us, a group of friends, in a pub style as we discuss the overlaps between this technology and politics, economics, the environment, culture, and sci-fi, to understand for ourselves the seemingly mysterious futuristic world on our horizon.
Hey everyone, it's Alex. Just taking a second away from the chat to say thank you again for joining us on this journey. If you like what we're doing, please consider supporting us on our Patreon. We've put the link in the description. Times are very tough out there, so you can also help us in other ways, such as sharing or liking our content on social media, rating our podcast on iTunes, or just spreading the word about our project to your friends and networks. We've put all of these links in the description. Help us build the people system with blockchain. Now, let's get back to the chat.
You want to lead the way, man?
Yeah, dude. All right, so we'll do intro. Like this is where the edit just happened. Welcome, podcast listener. we haven't been we haven't already been talking for 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I would have felt more guilty if more people were actively listening, but I think the point of this. Oh, I mean, we were late to promo it anyway, so it gives maybe more time for people to see it. So that's fine.
Gives us some good practice on clipping. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. We can clip all that away, and then now we can just talk about this sort of newbie stuff and how would you even define? I know we were talking about this the other day. What is a noob to crypto? And you had your 6 levels
the
or
tier
5
list.
levels.
Oh yeah, I didn't finish that, but we should discuss it and kind of because I wanted to talk out loud. I couldn't think of all the levels there are, but yeah. We can just, if you can picture it in your mind, listener, and then I'll probably have it done after we publish this, right? Yeah, think S A B C D E F, right? Let's talk to our F tier list listeners, the people who have no idea or they just started using crypto, the true newbies. Yeah.
Let me just, because I just wanted to say, I think that is a really, again, it goes back to what you the visual and what you can use on different platforms. And I think that visual of because say you're a newbie, total newbie, right? And we'll get into this in a second, but there's not so much, but there's quite a bit of intimidation with crypto. It's like this financial system, and I have no fucking clue where to start.
It feels like gambling, like you're at an online casino and you're just burning your money. You're just lighting your money on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Just bonfire your money.
It's literally that exhilarating. It feels like as you watch the prices drop.
Right, exactly. Roller coaster casino, maybe the first roller coaster.
Oh, that's what crypto is. It's a great roller coaster. It's so fun.
I can imagine us I can imagine as a newbie though, to assess, to get a clear view of just where everyone else is and what it is. Even if you're at F, you can see what it needs to take to get the E, and we don't have to make this image in so complicated language or whatever. It can just be have done this, have interacted with NFTs, maybe at B or C, because you kind of want to see where you're coming in at and how, and then a breakdown is often, oh, okay, that's a step. So it can be comforting for people as well as informative, and then that's a part of a journey. We can even make we can play around with it and make it funny. We don't even have to do A to F. we can do we can use terms that are comfortable for people.
Well, in this episode is for the intro, the noob listener. So let's start at F, end at D, because I think if we went beyond that, right, then we're beyond their comprehension level. So maybe that's what the C is beyond comprehension.
Yeah, so you're right. This is mainly for the Fs, and if we touch on the E's, I don't even know my alphabet now. Is the E's and the D's? Then that will give maybe some insight into the trajectory for people, about the starting point. So, what's your interaction with people who are Fs in your daily life? Like, I'm always keen to know that.
I think of intro people that they're stuck on these centralized exchanges. They're the Coinbases, the Geminis, right? And whenever you're especially a leftist looking into this space, becoming intrigued by it, you kind of look and all you see is hyper capitalism. You see capitalism and the free market going on a rampage, right? It's like it's on steroids over here with the level of autonomy people have, right? But it's really there's not the state is not regulating, right? So I think for noobs coming in, they're kind of just contributing to that because we are in a capitalist economy. That's what this space is seen as, is a little casino, is a dark web market of hyper financialized tools, right? And that is not appealing. If that's what 90, 95, 98% of the space is, then I can totally sympathize, I can totally validate the people who know nothing about it to just ignore it altogether. Because just like you ignore a casino on the side of the highway, just like you ignore the slots machine that's at the front of the gas station store. Why? Because you're a responsible, mature, adult human being, and you are beyond such things. Maybe you'll get a scratch lottery ticket, but that's about as irresponsible as you'll get, right? There is so much more to crypto than basically I'm calling this F tier of people. If you stay in this F tier, all you're doing is playing in the crypto casino. All you're doing is putting your faith and trust in totally hyper-capitalist and libertarian-minded, right-wing-minded CEOs and that kind of thing, right? But it still has everyone else. I know. But this is how I make the sale, bro. So first I'm gonna push you away from it, but now I'm gonna draw you back and say there's niche use cases, and there's little diamonds in the rough. In all this piles of shit, there's little tiny diamonds, and they are worth searching for.
So let me ask, because I think this is really important off the bat, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but from the question I asked and the answer you given, I kind of feel like I would have answered that in a different way, because the people I'm interacting with, as I've traveled, are people who are mainly non-political, and they're like, literally, when they ask what is crypto, they don't come at it from a political angle. They're literally like, oh, that's money, isn't it? I feel like you answered that question for leftists who are skeptical and you want them to get beyond it. And I'm saying this because, I think the way we're going to have to structure this app is for the vast majority of people out there who aren't strong-mindedly political, but we want them to be. And we want them to be in this crypto space, but their gateway is this Coinbase, buy a little each month, come back to it in 2 years. But by gatewaying them in this route, then you get into the levels above, and then they get into DAOs and all the rest of it. But the vast majority of folks, at least that I'm interacting with, who we need to get out of the fiat system or out of banks, and the gateway into them is this way, but they're not overly
So that
political.
was where I was going to caveat going into was, yeah, is it still preferable to the fiat system in my mind? Is there more potential? Is it more capable? Just being F tier, right? So we're talking. You can think of F as a little bit better than fiat. I call it a casino, and you might think and conflate in your mind that I'm saying it's worse than the dollars and it's worse than Chase Bank. I'm sorry, Chase Bank, if you have your money in that, is murdering people at the savings rate that you keep it there. It's pumping oil out of the ground. It's poisoning Amazons. You should absolutely unequivocally already not be using the Chase banks, right? And so yeah, that's my political spiel and tirade. I think personally I'm agnostic, right, about a lot of I like researching and observing and playing around with all this stuff, but I'm not because I don't want crypto to be sold by like a diehard shill salesman. I want to be told soberly and rationally, hey, this is what it is right now, and here's what it's potentially capable of doing, and here's how to time that or wait for that moment, or follow us to really know what there is fun to do or what there is reasonable and rational to get into, because I don't know if it's good. Anyway, I'll leave it at that, and we'll switch gears to a more generalist, non-political though. And I got you.
I think that where we're going down with that rabbit hole, like it's obviously like it's a really crucial thing to discuss, is potentially people who are a lot more aware of crypto, and I'm literally talking about the people that if we're going to even begin to bring people into this world and get them up the E's, the D's, the C's, they have to come in through the vast majority are coming in through the F, but quickly once we have them, we can move them on. I don't think there's any debate that it's better than fiat. How much better? Different debate, but it is, because it gateways into this other beautiful world. So like that for us is a given, but let's stick for at least for this episode and this clippable moment as if we're talking to someone we've just pulled off the street, and who you go, oh, what do you think of crypto? And they're like, crypto? And you're like, Bitcoin? And they're like, oh yeah, heard about that. What's that? You know what I mean? It's literally those kind of people, because I'm just, at least from my perspective, we may have different audiences, but I think we have the same passion that we want to get people out of fiat and into this blockchain world through this gateway. Is the vast majority of people out there, and we need to get them to scale this thing, or else, because
as long as we know that blockchain tech is not enough. It's not enough to just switch our whole economy onto the blockchain and everything's dandy, right? So I'm just trying to like caveat with the all right. There's nothing possible in the fiat system. There's nothing. There's no governance. There's no ownership. There is the Federal Reserve and all of their colluding mobster, gangster-esque cabal. They make the rules. You just get to comply and abide with them. Crypto, Bitcoin, all of that is changed fundamentally. The rules and the autonomy are completely in our favor. Our working class or our just normal person, regular, everyday, everyone can benefit. And it's a completely different kind, and it's a decentralizing effect of wealth, power, equality, all those things. And it's not at
and I think I think let's be aware that the sort of financializing and the clause that the fiat system have in crypto at the minute, I prefer to take a more optimistic outlook, in the sense that we have to battle against that, but we still have to get people in, and inevitably they're gonna like touch these worlds of the F world, but we need to get them in to then convince them of the battle going on, because they're just not aware of it, so that then we can get them on our side. But out of the game completely is not getting them on our side, you know, because I mean we can get people into like the Ethereum world and owning Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever it may be, and then they can interact and become part of this ecosystem universe using those things. So it's how we get them in, well, how we persuade them of the right side to be on, and then how we persuade them to like use it and move up the E's and the F's and all E's and the D's. So, but let's stick for now with like that. So here's the quick, because I mentioned there, like I'm meeting people in hostels, like who are like crypto. You're like, have you heard of Bitcoin? They're like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's my interaction with like a newbie. You mentioned your mate was supposed to come on today. Unfortunately, he couldn't. But like, do you have in your social circles, maybe in your hobbies, like people who answer in the same way that they do to me, like crypto? You know,
bro.
Well, like
my circles my circles have been listening to me ramble about this stuff for like 7 years. It's been a while since I've interacted with like new people to crypto, and you know, right. I think the city I'm in, being in the South in Texas, it's like it feels very taboo to like bring up crypto. I do, and people just kind of like literally have no reaction at all. But I think I remember being like it was 2017, 2018. I think I was in a hostel in Mexico, and there were two dudes from New York, and they knew about crypto, and I got to talk their ears off. Trying to think of the noobs I know, because my friends know about this stuff, but it just goes in one ear out the other. Like I'm trying to figure out, and maybe that's what this episode and more iterations of this episode will formulate into, is what are the topics, what are the use cases that most intrigue and tantalize our noob friends into just using a little bit more, exercising a little bit more autonomy than they do and can in their fiat banking system, right? So let's talk about what that F tier is. You give your opinion, and then how about I'll give mine, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth like that and kind of argue why we think X use case or X kind of person deserves to be in that tier.
So like literally like 90% of the conversations I have with people when they ask me about this is as starts with, oh yeah, I've either heard about crypto but I'm not in it, you know, or I'm in it, I bought a little bit of Ethereum or Bitcoin, but I'd love to know more about it, but that's all I've done. I had a wallet, but I don't know where it is, or something like this. Yep. And then they're like, you know, how do I get set up on that? Like, how do I enter this world more regularly? Like, you know, and then we'll get into the dynamics of like what that involves a little bit later. But just pick, and if I'm answering this question, picture in my mind of what a newbie is. It's those regular folk who don't know a lot about money, but they just kind of are dissatisfied with banks and the fiat system. They've heard some interesting things about crypto. It's decentralized, democratic. It's a bit edgy. It's new. Young people are into it, and all they want to know, is it accessible to me? Is it easy to do? Or is it over technical? Like literally, and we'll get through this later in the app. They want to know sort of step by step, how do they actually enter this world? And then when they're convinced of like the relative ease with which you can set up a crypto app and just start like investing a little bit in Bitcoin, Ethereum, that's not the end point for young people. I find like my next question, or even their next question, is that it, or what's next? You know, So like, yeah, they kind of want to save and put like not just like waste their money in banks, and like they hate banks, but they're also not getting money from it, losing money maybe. So they everyone wants to earn a bit of money because that improves your freedom, your autonomy. You can collective. You can start like dreaming of a different world together, and even like, you know, sort of within your family or community or whatever. So that's the way young people think, and that's who I'm interacting it with. So they.
You cut out there. Hold on. Maybe it's me. Can you give me like a thumbs up or something? I think you are talking. I wonder if it's me. Oh, wait. No. Aha! I figured. So
it needs to start somewhere.
Sorry, dude. Yeah. Could you hear me?
Yeah.
No, I could. My Bluetooth connected to another speaker. I like missed everything you said for the last like minute or two. I was like trying to get your attention.
Okay.
Where did you cut off? Dang it. But yeah, just kind of rewind a little bit.
You got cut. Yeah, let's rewind. Have you all your Bluetooth is off now? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just my phone connected to another Bluetooth device that wasn't my freaking mixer because someone my wife probably turned it on because she's taking a shower.
I hate when that happens too. Like when you turn your phone on, your Bluetooth seems to be on. You're like, I didn't turn you on. What are you doing? Get off.
Yeah, well, I'm using Bluetooth. And yes, oh my God, she just texted me. I'm so sorry. I turned on the speaker, and she probably heard you talking, so she knows what I missed. I turned on the speaker and it connected to you. Can you disconnect it from the speaker? Fuck, I need to know.
Oh, I see you.
Oh, wait. So maybe I can forget. I need to forget her speaker real quick. And then she'll be able to use it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
For
otherwise, it might disconnect.
Yeah. Disconnect.
Yeah. No worries.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Wait. Okay. Bluetooth. No, I don't want to disconnect from that one. I'd be gone again. Okay. Please tell me I don't reconnect to it. I'm gonna forget it.
Oh, I think if you just forget it, it won't reconnect. But you just turn your Bluetooth off.
Well, I disconnected first. Well, I can't turn off my Bluetooth, bro, because then I won't be connected to my phone. Can't do the Twitter Spaces with this nice AF mic and this. I don't even if you notice it. I don't know if you hear it, dear listener, in the background, but we just got a little bit of that nature, a little bit of that solar punk vibes, because that's what I bring to all of my spaces. I just make them really quiet because I hate when I can't focus on you. But anyway, yeah, that big long explanation to explain another thing about my awesome mixer that you guys absolutely have to get. Now, rewind.
We're probably doing a better job of selling this mixer than Crypto.
Dude, I need a token for selling this freaking mixer.
Yeah, exactly. Collective ownership of the mixer, right?
That's gonna be my first NFT. I'm just gonna make a pixel version of this mixer and sell it to people. Everyone I've talked to about it.
Yeah, and just like split it up and send little parts of it around the world. Everyone.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, just where we were, like, yeah, I was just basically saying like the people that I meet are like young people and like who want an avenue, the easy, comfortable avenue into this world, but that's what I was basically saying. That's often not enough for them.
It's like another stock to them, and in crypto we call that store of value for Bitcoin.
It is, yeah. They see it like they're kind of like, is it like stock, like sort of like, is this gonna like can I come back to this in a few years and I'll have made money on it? But also, I think equally as important to them, in my experience, like, is what else is crypto apart from that, right? And then you get into like the other things that it could be, and then they're interested. But I think mostly for the purposes of this, like, we want to try and convince people with just how to get in, the ease with which to get in, why it's better, all those kind of practicalities and like the myths and the concerns that they have. And then knowing that when they get in, they're not just going to leave it at that. They're actually proactively themselves going to seek out what else it is, or the ecosystem of blockchain and crypto, and what we can do to influence that and bring it to them through this pod and our pod and your pod is like all the different beautiful ways, collective ownership and all the rest of it. We can convince them of it, but we need them to listen to us and get into this world in the first place. So that's my sort of experience with newbies, is that's young people who want to get in, want to secure their future, but also want to start thinking bigger as well. So yeah. Is that what your mate is, coincidentally, or like, yeah, out of curiosity?
No, so he's known about the stuff. Well, actually, he has invested. So let me think of the noobs I know that have used crypto. So funny enough, my in-laws have used it, and my brother-in-law, they used it before my actual family. Like my brother, my sister, my two parents, they've never bought any crypto, but my in-laws have, because I lived with them for a little bit, and they got an earful of it, and I think their algorithms got messed up or something, because they ended up on Gemini, they ended up on Coinbase, or I think one of them bought on Robinhood, and I was like, please God, no, not Robinhood.
Robinhood.
Not Cash App, not Robinhood, no.
Yeah, exactly.
So
not
those thinking of them, it's just another stock, right? It's like what I said, it's another store of value. But my friend, the homie, he has finally come around basically in the last year or so, and I've basically been making him my one listener podcast for like 3 years, because we just call and text all the time, right? And so I've been creating content without posting it for this long, and he knows about crypto. So he has ETH. He looks into stuff, and he's just waiting for me to give him cool stuff to do. And I think if kind of teasing maybe the end of this conversation, if you're to think of what S tier is in crypto, it's creating crypto. Like once you exercise all the autonomy you can, and you know all the various means you can do that, then you're S tier. So I won't get too far into that, but let me go into what I would consider an F tier crypto user, and that's just like I said, the Coinbases, the Cash App, it's just, even those are like the worst ones. There's better ways to kind of buy crypto than getting screwed over and being given fees and centralized control of your stuff to other people. But yeah.
Let me ask you this. What is your interaction, if any, at all, with people who, when you mention crypto, look at you like you've four heads, or go, "Oh, Bitcoin, I've heard of that"? What is your interaction at all with folks like that?
I never had someone tell me, "Oh, I don't know," because I always say crypto. I hate saying Bitcoin. I would rather say crypto than BTC, because and trying to think.
Like
I think there were some plumbing, some blue collar types that I said crypto, and they had no idea what I was like. Oh, like Bitcoin and blockchain, and I'm so deep in my own bubble, bro. I just my family and friends just get inundated with this stuff all the time. But
I think this. Yeah, I think for the listeners, like the reason why we're like trying to like eke this out, like who are we doing this app for? Who are the newbies? Like, it's hard to like. There's no one newbie. Like, some people haven't heard a damn thing about it. Some people have only heard of Bitcoin, but like don't know what crypto is, or are in it and only a little bit or whatever. So
Some have
even there's like
had their
there's below.
ears talked off too much and haven't ever used it, but they know a whole lot about it.
Right, exactly. So there's maybe even like below F, the people who aren't in it at all. If F is the
Yep.
Coinbase, there's maybe the G that
The
is like
Cash App and
what is.
Coinbaser, they have no custody over their crypto, right? But they earn something of value if they just hodl it.
Yeah, for me that's the F, but the G is literally the people that look at you like your four heads when you go, "Do you know what crypto is?" And for me, I have to say, based on at least my experience, um, I would say the most young people that I meet on traveling, like this is young people, not just in South American young people, is people from Europe, from all around the world. Met a Chinese guy last night. He's a computer scientist in the US. And I was like, oh, I work in crypto. And he was like, crypto. And I was like, Bitcoin. He was like, oh, Bitcoin. That's a computer scientist in the US. So the reason why I'm like trying to pull this out is like, we can't underestimate like the vast majority of out there either don't have a clue, only slightly a clue, or amongst those 5 to 10% or less that have actually went, let me buy some Bitcoin or crypto. So basically, if we're both of our sort of angles, politics is to bring the masses into this world, you know, and the masses don't have a clue or are only touching it. Like, so this is why I think both of us are so passionate about reaching these people, because I don't feel in the crypto space that many people are prioritizing it. They're already prioritizing the A to the C, forgetting the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
99% who are like in the F and the G. And when you get them in the G and the F, then that's when you do the work to bring them up to the D or the E, the D. But there's just so little people focused on even reaching those people. So that's why I'm passionate about it. If you can bring 20% of the masses in the next 2 years, that's huge. And then if you win like 15% of that 20% over to our politics and our vision for blockchain, wow. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like
Yeah.
maybe so much of a, that's for me, that's the route in, and that's the. So, shall we? What do you think about this? Should we then like if we're talking to those people, what do you? If we're talking to the F people or even the G people who aren't in it yet and have barely heard about it, but they've just been spending so long on Twitter. What are the sort of things that you think, like the myths and the worries that
What's going to
the
get
F's and the
them
G's?
to at least buy in Coinbase, or at least do something to get out of the fiat system?
Yeah.
I think what can I say to get them away from fiat? One, I can just compare the APR and savings rates between the two. That always seems
Right.
pretty lucrative, because a myth about
Yeah.
crypto, about Bitcoin, is that all there is to do is just buy Bitcoin. Like, there's
Right.
very easy non-tech savvy ways to start yield farming, right? Start earning interest on your coin. And another myth is you have to buy a digital cryptocurrency, not a cryptocurrency version of a stable coin that is local to wherever you live. So there's a difference between having a bank account, right, with your Venezuelan dollars or something, right, and a Venezuelan having a crypto wallet with, USDC or whatever kind of state with DAI in there. That I think there's so many use cases to tell those people that, hey, especially in the developing world, I don't think it's going to be a hard sell for the developed nations to accept the crypto. But we don't actually care. That's actually not the biggest demographic. They're the richest demographic, but I think you as well agree, we're not worried about the quality of the person coming into crypto. We don't care how rich you are. We just care that you're a person and you're joining and contributing your efforts into our collective endeavors, right? The more the more powerful, right?
Well, I think we'd both probably say, and our respective audiences would say, the people who you just described, who we do want in, we need them in because we have a pro working class politics, right?
Right, and they'll come in, and crypto will mature to that level, right? But I would say for the people that are hostile hopping, like that you come across, those guys are how much of a struggle is it to have a bank account in a nation foreign to the one you're existing in? How difficult is it to exist like that, right?
Exactly.
There's so many different pros that I think for developing world especially blows away their local banks or their local currencies even. I think cryptocurrency definitely rivals that in a serious manner.
For sure. And I'm in Argentina right now, where that is like at the forefront of everybody's minds. Like, I went to pay for my hostel the other day, and he was like, I can show you where you can get you can use the Bitcoin ATM if you want. And I was like,
woo,
that's the first time I've come up. So it is on the forefront of people.
Yeah.
How about we do this though? Because like if and I'm just thinking of the people I meet before they get into and we've said this already, like before they like get into sell me the pros of crypto, they almost, it's a little bit like human psychology. They want to be reassured against the myths and worries. So shall we do that first?
Let's go.
Break down the defenses.
Yep.
Because there's a good few of those that I hear, man, all the time. Do you want to know what the first one is?
Yep.
You know, the first one is, I heard about that. Oh, that was 2008 though, or that was 2015.
More like 2000 and late, bro.
2008. We'll clip that. We'll clip that movie.
Clip it.
2000 and late.
Hello, future Alex. How you doing?
Yeah. We need to find some sort of sound like.
We need a soundboard. Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, exactly.
So is it 2000 late to get in? No.
Yeah.
It goes in both ways. So some people think, or I guess this is both in the same direction, right? They think we've already gone past the 90s in crypto, right? It's because we love comparing ourselves to the original web when really we haven't even fully separated ourselves from Web 2, and we're already talking about ourselves like we're a separate entity or thing. But I'm like, I think a lot of us depend on Amazon Web Services, don't we? I think a lot of HTTPS stuff. That's a little not newbie thing, right? But it is not. All of that is to assure you, dear listener, it is not even the 90s in my mind. It is. We are not that well developed where I can't go and use my crypto at a farmer's market right now. I can't go anywhere realistically and do that. That's like a breakout use case, right? Is the agorist, outside state apparatus control marketplaces that finally get to enjoy some autonomy, right? Because, dude, there's so many middlemen and fees and taxes to be collected just operating as a poor small business owner. And so once I can actually use my crypto, not exchange my crypto, there's a big distinction here. You can exchange your crypto in a very hyper financialized, like I was talking about earlier, gambling, casino, stock investment manner, but that I can't spend my crypto. I have to realize the capital gains on it by exchanging back into the fiat system. So people have this impression that crypto is really usable and the ATMs are popping up all over the place and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, we are not meant. This was not built to be an appendage on the banking system. We aren't meant to just be another branch of the Federal Reserve, of the International Monetary Fund. So let me assure you, that means it's not too late. It's not even not too late. There's never a too late, really. This is the evolution. This is where things as humans learn how to coordinate and collaborate and cooperate with each other more efficiently and in a more decentralized manner, the more crypto there will be. Like they go hand in hand. And so if you don't get in now, you're just missing out on all the autonomous choices you can be making in the history of the chain that is being stored immutably. I think that's really fun, cool thing to think about, and it's so nascent. It's so we're so early.
Oh, so nascent.
Gosh.
Oh my god.
What has it been? 14 years. Our crypto hasn't even had its first period yet, right? Like,
So this is what like when because people like noobs. Let's back to noobs. Noobs will be has not been around since '08, and you're like, yes, but it's only really in the last few years.
It's only really since 2018, 19 was like a breakout year, and then 2020 was like, oh my gosh, this is noticeable. I see this in mainstream media all over the place now. Like, what is going on?
And that's when it's been hitting people's Twitters and all the rest of it, and people are like, whoa, this is everywhere now. So if you're a noob, you're like, and if you kind of know the whole concept's been around for more than a decade, and it's been 2 or 3 years that you've been seeing it in your Twitter profile, you may be tempted to think, oh, shitty then. It's when skyrocket. It's over. Yep. What we're saying to you now is like, number one, there's, even if you're looking at it just from that sort of coin lens and all the rest of it, and you think it's like it's went past the point of no return or where you can't get into it, there's so much more growth left. But what Alchemist is saying here is the whole ecosystem is not even started yet.
Just getting started.
Oh, it's only tiddly in the water, you know, like so. Yep. And this is, and what we should say here to convince noobs, like, so if you are gonna start now and buy a little bit of Bitcoin, that you're
a little bit of Ethereum, a little bit of
Ethereum, a little bit of little bit of this, little bit of that,
little Gitcoin,
little Gitcoin, little safe investments that dip your toes in. There's still a lot of potential for that. But what we should also briefly say, just to excite their minds of the newbies, because it might just take that excitement even to get them off their chairs to start on with Bitcoin or whatever, or Ethereum, is that this is a world where in 5 to 10 years, you're going to be involved, and your wealth and your community wealth and your whatever local whatever is going to come at so many different angles of building power and wealth together. So what you want to do is dip your toes in now and get going now, because the more you do, the more doors will open, the more your mind will open,
the more research you'll do and discover.
Yeah, exactly. So the more you dip your toes in now, the more worlds of this will open to you, and you'll see yourself going, oh, so if I was a content creator and I joined this creative DAO, you mean I could record a song and tokenize with others, and that could be my regular source of income in 18 months?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is so let's not get down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, let's not go too far, but yeah.
But that's important to like maybe help people understand that this is a whole new world, and the sooner they dip their toes in, and it's not too late. it's not too soon, but get going now. Here's another one. Here's another one of the myths or worries that I hear, and I think we all hear. And they go, "Oh yeah, but no, that crypto is not gonna last." What do you mean? It's against government? The state will shut it down. What are you talking about? I'm not touching that.
The federal daddy's gonna ban it. They're coming for your tokens. They're coming for your wallet keys. There ain't gonna be nothing but CBDC in our world. Yeah, no. Crypto
or they're regulated into the ground
or regulated. So can governments ban it? Sure, they can. They can write whatever they want on their books. What do you mean?
Right.
Can they stop it? No. I do not believe they can stop it, short of, nuclear warfare blowing up every computer and machine we have, right?
Yeah.
As long as there are computers, as long as there's free and open, accessible Wi-Fi, right? And there's networks that are connected. So one thing I have thought about is I wonder if a state could, right? They already can IP ban. So could they prevent Bitcoin from operating inside of their state, right? Guys, if you're listening, the level of state apparatuses and police power that would need to be levied against a society, against a commons or a public, in order to enforce and really make that happen is insanity. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible. A lot of cryptoers love to say impossible. I'm like, okay, first of all, the blockchain exists on computers. Those computers, all that code is updated and run by humans. Both of those very physical things can be coerced and violently manipulated, right? But is it as violently coercible or manipulatable as like a small nation is? Like, take, for example, a Chile or a Cuba or, an Afghanistan, a Libya, right? I would say crypto is more resilient, is more anti-fragile and uncensorable, impervious to what we're talking about, the most capable empire in the world right now. So we'll just say it who it is. The U.S. Can the U.S. ban Bitcoin? Can they stop it from operating? Dude, no. They not even with what they have, short of just destroying themselves in the process. There's really no feasible manner. Now, can they hurt it? Yes. Can they co-opt it and recuperate it? Absolutely. They can do those things. They do them all the time, and it's something people need to be wary. And I mean, frankly, as soon as the U.S. does co-op it, and they frankly have been for the past like 2-3 years with all of their venture capitalist investment, I don't think they hate crypto. They love it, and they like pretending like they don't love it.
Let's do this, and let's try and do this in a quick back and forth, in so that we can clip it for people. But also, let's pretend that I'm the noob, and you're quick firing answers back at me in this way. Let's
we're debating. You're just giving me the moderator questions, right?
Yeah, but also think that you're replying to a noob in this way. So let me go. Who would shut it down? Isn't crypto global? How can you have one state? Wouldn't you need all states to close it down?
Yeah. You would need the entire world to collectively agree and all enforce that thing. I think the U.S. is the most capable because they already globally police everyone, right? They could globally police Bitcoin in some manner, but it would cost so much. It would cost so much energy. It would cost
You're
them
talking
so
about
much manpower. It's on the level of completely improbable and impossible.
yeah. You're talking there like a post Orwell,
Like a super
Stasi.
fascist state. Like, man, they would
Yeah.
have to exercise so much stuff. But I mean, people talk like this. Let's not pretend like there aren't those. And especially on the left, on the more progressive side, because they're so worried about the energy usage, they talk about doing stuff like that. Now, I think they might put a law on the books to hurt crypto or hurt other cryptos that they don't approve of and have total
But
co-opted control of.
Who's they? Just again, you're pretend I'm the noob.
Capitalist
Who's
empire, all of the people who have the most power currently. So if they all decided to put laws on the books, I think it'll be like the war on drugs, right? Like, you don't actually enforce and reasonably suspect to win the war on drugs, but you sure as hell can profit off of it. You sure as heck can arrest and make miserable the lives of people who do, that's how I think the analogy will go, is like how you twice now the US has discovered it can't ban or prohibit a substance, right? So first we had that first run with alcohol. Now we've had the second unsuccessful drug war against marijuana and all the other ones, right? They're gonna do the same thing in crypto, but it's gonna be even less successful because of the network effects, right? Because of the decentrability of all of these, how these operations work. It's like playing super fast whack-a-mole, and you're just gonna tire yourself out before you reasonably whack enough moles to make a dent in our autonomous networks.
And like, I mean, like, I also, the way I look at it also is I just can't say like that. Like capitalism has its incentives, but it has different state incentives as well, like through the states. I just can't. And there'll be competition and undermining and geopolitics, like, and I just
People
think
have already gotten
that's
arrested for just local bitcoins.
Okay.
So oh crap, this will be the part of the episode that we clip separately. At Risen. He's a professor. Let me put him in the show notes here. He was using at local bitcoins, and he's a researcher. He's a journalist. He's doing time right now because he exchanged with cash, right, for Bitcoin. So he gave someone Bitcoin, and someone gave him cash, and he doesn't make this isn't his business or anything. He was just doing it as an experiment and to meet other people, right? And so that's one of the examples of what you're talking. Government will ban it. They'll try to put. They have rules. So they got him on, like, what is it, like money market charges? Like he was operating as a money market maker or something like that. I'll do more research into that. So that's a good example of, the war on drugs, the war on crypto is beginning or already has begun. But they're going to lose. It's the same thing as the war on drugs. Although people might go, ooh, ew, drugs, I don't like that, blah, blah, blah. Do you reasonably suspect that you can ban it? Are you actually that much of a boomer that you think, oh no, we should definitely have drug laws that prohibit some substances because blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, how are you going to enforce that? So with crypto, it's even less enforceable. And they'll find out more and more over time as we get you, our listener newbie, onboarded into this system. The less possible and the less probable. As our network effect grows, the less their network affects us.
Yeah, and history to the newbie, history, if you're aware of it at all, like it's just so impossible to believe, but not like 100% possible, but for it, like in the global world that we live in, for every country to have the exact same agenda and the power and the resources in the Gestapo times 1,000
Yep,
way that we
yep.
said that they close us down on every single level of human society, nope. So it will survive and grow,
If
and
that's how
they'll not
society
even
ends
go
up,
that far.
then I need crypto more than ever to combat that.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. And we're heading that way as is. So buy
Mm-hmm.
crypto. Get into this.
Get
Here's
in.
the next one, dude. Here's the next one.
If the government will
Here's
ban it, then we should get in it. That's my philosophy. There.
Exactly. 100%. Here's the next one I hear. And it's kind of like, and maybe this one crosses over with the one we've already discussed, but the next one is, I can't afford a full Bitcoin. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, that one's the most ignorant, naive. I mean, not to call out our newbies here, but no, that's not how our math works here in crypto. No, it's infinitely divisible. There's little satoshis if you get small enough.
Yeah. So yeah, Mr. or Mrs. Newbie, you're gonna own 0.0000004 Bitcoin. Congratulations.
And then they'll like apply
You're
the
the
same stock logic, like they own a part, like they own a piece of a Bitcoin with a bunch of other people or something. I've heard that before. I'm like, what? The stupidity, bro. The stupidity.
Yeah.
No, it's just it's how the numbers work. It's how prices work, and it's how our new advanced society is going with things. So you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy. I think do you know what decimal place it actually goes down to? I think it's like 8 or 10.
I think it's something like that, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, there'll be all time in the morning.
Yeah.
There'll be all time in the morning. I wake up and want to buy 0.000000001 Bitcoin for coffee, and I think they stop at around the 8th.
I mean, there's all sorts of.
I'm only joking, folks. I don't do
that. Have you ever used or gotten crypto from a faucet?
No, I don't think so.
No, maybe I don't know if there are any. Maybe Poria, you can chime in here if you know of any, because I know he be exploring all over this space. Yeah, okay. Dude. So they had crypto faucets, right? So to try to encourage adoption, right? They give you super tiny amounts of crypto. Well, I'm gonna add him real quick. What's up?
Okay.
And so I remember one time I got some crypto from a faucet, and I literally didn't do anything about it. Didn't use it whatsoever. Came back to it like 2-3 years later, and it was like $40-$50. So it went from like 0.4% of a penny worth when I originally got it for free. Right, because that's just how these faucets work. Is they're just giving away super tiny amounts in hopes that you'll use it and maybe buy more, right? But I was just exploring and fucking around the place, and so yeah. Kind of into your next question about tandem with I can't afford a full BTC. Bitch, you can afford a BTC because there's free BTC available. That's what I'm trying to say here. Is as well as the price that you see, and this isn't actually that advanced for noobs to figure out. You can just Google probably crypto faucets and go find, and that's how I would start out exploring, and then putting in the $5, the $10, the $20, right? What you can afford to lose, and yeah, just stick around. You'll watch number go up, man. Have fun being ape, man.
And we'll like and for the newbies like listening to this, where now that like we've said, like you don't have to buy full Bitcoin, we're gonna show you in this ep or in a clippable moment how to actually what that will look like on like one of the interfaces that you're
we'll put
on.
some visuals on what the faucets look like.
Yeah, or we'll talk through and put some visualizations in their mind of what that will like. you'll see the interface come up and you're putting in dollars or euros, and then that will fill in the Bitcoin that you can buy with that. You're not putting in, I want to buy 0.0005 BTC.
Right.
You're fulfilling the fiat that you want to buy the
However much
Bitcoin.
fiat you want to exchange, that's how much you'll get in crypto. Yep.
Exactly. So just to visualize that for the noobs, that's okay. The next one. Next one is...
You skipped over, is it a scam / Ponzi?
Oh, yeah, it's the big one, so I'm coming back to that. But
okay, gotcha.
One last thing, actually, I had it in my mind there and completely forgot about it.
I added Poria as a speaker real quick, so before we forget him, what's up, bro? Did you want to say anything about faucets? How you been?
Hey, Cole. Thanks for having me. Pretty good. Just, hey, man. Just been feeling a little bit under the weather. Maybe it was pseudo COVID or just a bad flu, but we're getting better.
Oh, good to hear you're getting better.
Yeah, appreciate it. In terms of faucets, I use them for development mostly. So I think I was deploying a smart. Yeah, I was deploying a smart contract on Polygon using Matic, and I didn't. So I had ETH, but I needed Matic to deploy it to their mainnet, and so I looked it up, and there was this thing called a faucet, and I just go in, type in my wallet address, and I get free money. I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
insane.
If you want to deploy something in real life, people don't come out and give you real USD dollars, unless like you're begging out on the street. It's not much. It was like a few cents or like a few dollars. But it still goes to say a lot that, hey, this is something different from the money we were used to, right? Just so going different. On about how this is different, and
usually if you did that like within the traditional, so let's make another case for why crypto best, right? If you were to try to think of doing that in the traditional finance system, right? You would be loaning that would be a micro loan right there, and they would never in their neoliberal minds think to themselves, oh, I should give away free dollars to encourage the proliferation of my currency or the use cases and utility and blah 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 blah. So it kind of shows and perfectly it details the paradox and juxtaposition between the kinds of economies being built between the traditional finance and the untraditional, the unorthodox crypto economic tokenomics, because we are setting up tokenomic games and people have to consent and volunteer themselves into these economies. Whereas in the traditional finance world, what is it? It's whoever controls the borders, whoever controls the governments, the states, and how do they give value to their dollar? Well, they enforce taxes. Why do you have to pay taxes to give this value? Well, because they'll come to your house with a gun and put you in a jail cell if you don't pay said taxes, or yada yada yada. You get it. There's a coercive, violent element to the traditional markets. So why are we so passionate? Why are we so desperate, almost sounding, to get you, dear newbie listener, into this token economy? It's because then that signals to those coercive, violent states that, hey, I am not motivated. I am not incentivized by those rules, by those kind of games. I want to voluntarily and democratically contribute and get and have all sorts of rights and autonomy that can only be afforded with crypto. There you go.
Yeah, and it's both, isn't it? It's like, I'm not for what you represent, and here's what I am representing for. So the network effects and the ecosystem grows out of what people want by coming into this. So yeah, it's like a double whammy. It's a screw you to the old and here we go to the new kind of thing.
The ultimate voting with your dollar.
Yep. So so shall we move on to the next one then? Stick around. Is it per I can only see per but I hope I'm saying that right. Poria, cool.
What's your name?
What's your name? Blockchange Taporia? Yeah.
Oh, I'm Alex.
Alex, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. Yeah, awesome. So here's the next one. Well, let's leave scam to the last. This is a big one. That'll be a big rabbit hole. So, is crypto just an investment for the future? This is the newbie saying this. Is crypto just an investment for the future, or can I actually use it now in daily life?
Yeah, this kind of, I think we've been touching on this point kind of
We've
throughout the whole time, haven't we? Yeah, it's so good. So it's on the one hand, right? I have my own opinion on store of value and on that kind of philosophy, all of that, blah blah blah. But if I'm being objective, if I'm comparing it versus its USD counterpart, is it just an investment for the future, or can I actually use it? So is it just a store of value? No, it is not meant to be. And and if your crypto is just a store of value, then you're just stuck in that F tier of how into crypto you are, right? So there's no is the answer, but yes is the answer for some people. Some people only look at it as an investment for the future, and they don't even buy stuff with it, right? They only use it purely as an investment vehicle. They exchange into it and they exchange out of it. But please, people, please, if you're going to jump into this, right, and you're going to start doing the little buys here and there, right, can you do me a favor and also do some selling as well? Can you sell some stuff for in exchange for someone else's crypto? Like, please, God, there is nothing to buy here without going through some centralized exchange or some kind of fiat fee service. So, but that wouldn't have to happen if people would just, hey, here's this product or service I have. I'll work for 1 BTC or whatever the cost is, right? No one's doing that. Everyone keeps using the middleman, and it's
Well, let's be a bit more optimistic and sell this to the newbie. Like we're not selling them wrong information, but let's give them a side to this that is happening. And you've said it. The clear answer is no. It's not just an investment.
Right.
You can use your crypto, right? So let's give some practical examples. Like, I walked down the street. I already did on the app. Where I walked into the hostel and he was like, "You can pay me in Bitcoin for a night here." I walked down the street.
Incredible.
I see barbershops. I see barbershops. I see this, that say, "We accept crypto." I saw it in Guatemala, Colombia. So for a noob who is like, "Okay, you're convincing me to get out of fiat and into crypto. Is it just going to sit in my wallet for 5 years? Is that what you're saying? Or, can I get going? Can I engage with it now?" And you're like, "Yep, you can. Here's how, there's how, there's where, online, real world." I don't think we overly need to get into how. I think it is sufficient for a noob to go, you can't use it in the real world.
There's coin maps. There's like bounties.
Okay.
There's bounty programs, right? So you can earn it, you can spend it. A lot of it is being built, and I think you're right. We shouldn't put too hard a definition on how you should use your crypto, because the point is, with crypto, there's so much more possibilities. There's a capacity to do so much more autonomous activity than is possible with fiat, like what we were talking about with the faucets and airdrops, right? Not going to get too much into the advancedness of that, but that's just an example of how you can do all the boring, easy US dollar things that you're used to. That's perfectly fine and possible in crypto now. There's a little bit of an effort, right, to try to find the places you can spend it, but it's getting way less difficult.
It's
way less after month, right?
So, and those coin maps you mentioned, just like briefly touch on what those are for the noob listener. That's just a map with places you can spend crypto, I assume, right? Just to spell it out.
Yeah, so you can search, I think, in Google Maps now accepts cryptocurrency, which, dude, how much more mainstream can you get than I remember being 5 years ago. And, dude, that just a headline story of them saying, oh, Google Maps is going to add accepts cryptocurrency to their app, that would have like literally shot the market up so many percentage points that day. It would have been insane. But literally people, and it happened not too long ago, and it went by without really, I didn't really hear it trending or within my spaces. I don't know.
Probably market went down on the basis.
Yeah, it was probably still going down. It's so damn mainstream now. Everything was ruined when we hit $1 trillion market cap.
So for the noob, you might find in your own country, you can search it on Google, Coin Maps, places as regular as the barber shop or the hostel or this, that. And online, there's places that you can pay in crypto.
And don't forget the ATMs, right? So even if they don't accept crypto directly, which is what I would prefer you go to, hey, if all things are even, just pay them fees and you'll make it out. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention what you can also like buy online in real life.
Yeah, you can do some local exchanging, like I was talking about. That you can go on a local peer-to-peer. Yeah,
peer-to-peer. Yeah, you want to buy a couch or you want to buy, take out eBay, get off those centralized things, get in touch. Here's Bitcoin for the couch. But let's touch briefly on what you just mentioned, the ATM, because that's another question I get a lot. So let's just quickly run over that one. What is that? That's literally what it is. You'll go to the ATM and you'll be able to take fiat out by selling your crypto. That exists. It exists.
So let me go into a little bit more detail because you've used crypto
a little
ATMs,
bit
right?
more.
A
little bit more, not because I'm just thinking of the noob here. I don't want them to get lost.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not trying to get them lost. I actually want to save them from some confusion when they first go to their first crypto ATM. So because we're using permissionless and trustless systems, right? And these things are actually happening in the digital metaverse sphere, right? The public ledger is changing as you're making these transactions. It's not like your bank where, I just trust the front clerk or whatever, and that's how things work. No. So when you go to a crypto ATM and you give it your money, it's going to give you a ticket, and it's going to be about 15 to 20 to 30 minutes, maybe longer, depending on who knows what. And then you come back and get your money, or you get your crypto, or if you exchanged crypto for cash, you would come back later, and then you would put your ticket back in, and then you would receive your cash. So little bit of an inconvenience for me there, kind of a hard sell, but rest assured it's way more secure and there's way less fees, especially. Oh gosh, it jumped to the next song. So don't want people to get freaked out whenever they try to make their first crypto exchange and they're like, This damn ATM ate my money. I didn't get any crypto, or I didn't get any cash out of it. You have to come back to it.
But there will be instructions there. You're right to point that out.
I would just hate for them to get caught by surprise, not expecting to see those instructions and go like, what? I don't have 15 minutes, or I have to leave right now, blah, blah, blah. That's what I was nightmare scenarioing in my head.
People are, and the noobs, you're right to point that out, but let's put a positive spin on why it's still a good thing, even, because convenience is a massive thing for folks, but it's taking out the bank. There's no,
you're cutting out
you're cutting out the. It's quick. The fees are going to be less. You're taking out the traditional finance system, and you're supporting this system as well, right? So there's all sorts of benefits, and it does depend on how much you're taking out, how quickly, how fast it is, in what country, So there's all that, and I think it's only going to get faster right over time. So for the noob listening, if you're going to go to a crypto ATM machine, be aware of what Alchemist said. but don't get too put off by it. This is, again, we're at such a new stage of this system. So bear with it, but it is there for you. And again, all the other ways we mentioned, online, paying the barber, paying the hostel, these things are happening right now. And it's efficient. You just you don't have to go to the ATM, take out fiat cash, bang with your phone at the hostel desk, whatever you want. So there's many pros to that as well. But the answer to that question is it's not just to let it sit in your wallet for 5 years, engage with it, interact with it. And I think also a good thing to engage and interact with it, right, Alchemist? Right? Because what we said earlier, like we the more proactive you are in this world, the more your mind thinks, boom, what else can be done? And you move up those levels,
The
right?
further down the rabbit hole you fall, man.
The further rabbit, exactly. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. How many cryptos are established, safe slash secure? Should I touch micro coins? What are these altcoins? What's the difference? Like, are they all the same? How many is there? There's 16,000 cryptos. What the hell? What's all that about?
It's a lot. Unfortunately, it costs about nearly nothing to create your own new cryptocurrency. So there's a lot of them. There's a lot of shit coins out there. Not to talk
This
about.
topic leads us a little bit into the scam topic.
Yeah,
We can move quickly into that one.
It's because of that low cost of establishing, right? It feels even more scammy. It feels more crazy and chaotic than the traditional startup world, which is also chaotic and crazy and has way more than 16,000 startups, right? And there have been way more than 16,000 startup failures, and there's been way more than 16,000 startup scams and pyramid Ponzi schemes, racketeering operations, right? All of that has still happens in the traditional market. I like what's going on in crypto and how many iterations there are, and there is just so much more transparency and accountability with these public immutable blockchains. Like the coins that are serious, the engineers and the DAOs that take earning people's trust and building economies of trust seriously, they are winning so much.
Oh yeah.
And I mean they just keep winning. The more over time they prove themselves to be a trustworthy person for holding your value, right? The bigger and more assuredly and inevitable the network effect grows, right? And so that's how many are there? A lot of them. How many should there be? More. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, but it's an interesting thought experiment, right? But like, cause I think we did cover this, at least the idea of this on one of our first episodes in our pod. Like, there's that balance, or there's that mix of everyone's kind of looking out for the dodgy, what isn't, and it's like a competition almost, not a competition, but everyone's learning and oh, that's not good, we can do better, and even not there's the out and out scams, and there's the ones kind of like that just
you can't fool us twice on the blockchain, bro. So the more scams that are proliferated, the less likely we're to get scammed in that same manner.
The whole ecosystem.
Yep.
The whole ecosystem learns, right?
Yep. And grows. So the speed running we're doing with society and economy building by letting the rules be how they are and the autonomy what it is. The experimentation that's happening is just so beneficial to society and to the network of people dedicating their efforts to it.
So back to the noobs C tier. That what they've probably listened to there is wonderful, because I hear there's so many So that's good to hear that actually something positive for the whole crypto world comes from just so many. Here's the next question. That's great. But okay, I want a gateway into this world. Which one should I look at? What would you advise?
I don't like being
General advice.
the stock trader, right? That's like, all right, here's my stock picks for today. We're going to buy at this price and sell here. We're buying low and selling high. Like, that's
I
what
love
it
how your
feels
inner
like.
Texan comes out as well.
Yeah, right. That's when I'm scamming you, my southern drawl comes out.
Yeah, I got some family stuff
So,
for you, boy.
dude, do
Oh,
I
that's more
got
southern.
some crypto picks for you, brother? Like, so I
Yeah.
want to caveat what I'm going to say with this, that do your own research, right? I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not a lawyer. I funny enough, have had pretty good relative success just buying. I've just bought Bitcoin and Ethereum back and forth for 7 years. I've never taken a loss, but that's mostly because I literally I forget about it. I know when it's low and when the bear market has been going on for a while, because I'm more in this for the fun and for the research aspect of it. It's so early, right? I'm waiting for the best coin. I'm still lying in wait. But if I have to give my pick, right, of what's available and what exists, who's the blue chip stock, I think is the question, right?
I think that's right, and that's the angle
who are the blue chip examples? So let me give my
Because
picks.
let's set the scene a little bit more here, like, because I think the reason why this question is so important, because it is, at least in my experience, from the 99% of noobs that I come across who are curious about crypto, but they're like, and we'll get into the practicalities of this, like in a second, when we like get you set up or whatever. But they do the main one of the main, when you sold them on the idea and got over a lot of these myths we've been going through, and then they're like, the one of the next almost practical worry, rather than all these other worries, is like, yeah, but I don't have a clue which one to. I don't know. We wouldn't know where the fuck to start with, which one to get. And you're like, think about what is, and that's the comfort question. That's the, I'm not an expert. I just want some security and comfort to just dibble my toes in, right?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I think we're doing a good job of not being the shady, shilly car salesman type, right? I think we're doing a good job of advocating for what power this technology gives us, and that's the most important aspect. I think with power comes responsibility, and that means risk, right? As well as reward. Right. There is absolutely risk. So I encourage you, dear listener, do not make crypto, not right now. Do not depend on it to sustain you and for it to be your whole livelihood if you cannot afford it, right? If you're a white person who owns outright his whole property and lives off grid, and you don't depend on anyone for anything, and you just make some money on the side or whatever, sure. If it doesn't matter that you lose any money, put it all in crypto. I would definitely be doing that. But if you're worried about your next paycheck, right? If you're dependent on every dollar to eat, right? Oh, okay, but I can caveat with this though. There are stable coins. There are stable coins available for you, and I would put enough faith and trust in a stable coin and stable coin wallets keeping my account, especially if I was where you are right now, like Buenos Aires or somewhere. I would not want my American bank account, really. And that's going to be something I showcase as content on my channel, is making that transition of going full crypto, going whole crypto dive. where I just dive off the deep end at a certain point because I'm just totally safe and secure in my finances, and I'm just gonna just ape all the way in. But saying that, right? Oh, forgot where we were going. Oh, so blue chips. We can talking about stable coins. You can really not go wrong with stable coins. Blue chip coins, though. So pick number one.
So let's take a step back because there's I mean, if you think it as the newbie here, like I'm deliberately trying to put myself in the mindset of a newbie here, and they're like, you know, I can't say this for certain, but I'm pretty sure they might not know what blue chip means.
They don't even know what blue chip means. How newbie are they? Don't even know what stocks are. I've referenced stocks so many times.
Oh man, dude! Like as I said at the start of this convo, I spoke with a computer scientist in China who was like crypto, and then you're like Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin. So let's err on the side of. Hold on one second. Let's err on the side of caution with like taking it too fast. Let's just even for this point, like let's describe what we mean by blue chip, like by comparing it to like stocks in a nice language. Like these are the safe, secure ones, the most established, they've been around for longer. We don't even have to name them. We can if we want, but we maybe should just say like, okay, and stable coins, like let's not go.
No, they don't need stable coins. But where I could hear in the question was, okay, how can I start using this, or how can I make money now? Blah 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 blah. Whereas I'm trying to frame the question as what is an established project? What do I have the most trust and faith can go the farthest distance in the future, right? In as growing its network effect. So let me jump into that. What do I consider blue chip, and what is blue chip? So blue chip just means like, you know, like you have the top 500 companies on the stock market. Those would be considered blue chip. The Facebook, Apple, Google, Amazon, those are Netflix, Google, Fang. So those are blue chips, right? It's what you can put the most trust and have faith that it's not going to be bad. I'm going to mute you or can you mute yourself intermittently, cuz I'm hearing like a lot of background noise from you. Oh,
sure.
Yeah. All right. Oh, now I can get that get my solar punk scene going again. So, what do I think are the most established projects, and what do I think qualifies you as an established project? So one thing I want to caveat is I don't care what your market cap is. I think a lot of other people, when they start giving definitions of what they consider blue chip, are absolutely taking market cap into account. I do not give one fiddly hoot about what your market cap is, because frankly, I just might be really early to a really innovative idea, right? So what I like to consider for fundamentals is researching what the cryptocurrency is, what makes it novel and unique, who are the developers on it, how active and what's the ethos of their community. All of those things are what I take into consideration when I name who I consider a blue chip project. So number one on the list, gonna have to go with Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin been putting in good work. He's been doing good job making the super communist computer. Ethereum is our world computer. I really like the community there. I continually since their creation, since its inception, has the Ethereum community most impressed me most often throughout these, whole 7 years that I've been following the space. I can remember CryptoKitties being a deal, and that was like those were some of the first NFTs to pop off, and all this crypto gaming but dude, they set so many precedents. They evolved and innovated upon Bitcoin so well. And I think there are potentially more iterations of smart contract blockchains to be made. For instance, Cosmos is another good example of, so their Cosmos bridge, their SDK type thing where they want to be the bridge between all blockchains. That's super tantalizing. They also have a lot of really cool projects, also a lot of solar punk projects. I would say Cosmos is kind of surprised me by how green and eco and kind of collaborative and cooperative minded that whole space is really impressive. Same with Ethereum, but a little less so, because I think it's just a problem you have when you get too much money and too much investment. Love me some Cosmos, love me some Ethereum. Probably just I'll make 3 picks for number that I'm gonna tie for number 3, and then because they kind of all they do a lot of the same things, if not the exact same, but they're all terrific. Polygon, Optimism, and Gitcoin. And then I would say noticeably omitted from my list is motherfreaking Bitcoin, because I do not give a flying fuck anymore about stupid BTC. And this is your clippable moment right here. You better have me on TikTok, and I want me some stupid shitcoin haters in my DMs, because god damn it, has that project gotten so co-opted and recuperated by capitalism. They and their entire community, their culture, their ethos has veered so far off from the original ethos of because they had some cyberpunk left-leaning things to them, and it was good with the WikiLeaks era. And so I'm omitting them right now. You can edit that out, but I want one clip on TikTok where I can call these freaking Bitcoiners out, because all you want is capitalism on chain, and you want to be the new capitalist winner. Well, that's not what I see crypto doing. That's not what I think these projects are doing that I just named. And so if you want a coin like Bitcoin, don't buy Bitcoin, buy Monero or buy Zcash or I'm coming for some quotes. I'm making enemies, bro. I'm sorry. I know you don't like doing that, but
no, it's all good. I'm like deliberately putting myself in the newbie seats here, like, and
it's true.
If you barely know what crypto is, you're not gonna know what.
Well, they only know Bitcoin, though. I just gotta slap it in the face for once. Like, no, Bitcoin is not crypto. Please hear it from me now. It's the least important one to me, but it's the most expensive, and that just.
I think the advice that we should maybe leave this one on, like, because we've so much to get through as well, like, is for the newbie who we're about to advise to set up the gateway them into this, to get them started and set it up and actually just like buy some, like, do your own research. There is ones that are more established than others. Have a quick look at what they are. Have a look at what they are. Get comfortable. Get comfortable with them. But I think that maybe the point, not a quick look. Get comfortable. Know what they are. But when you just want to dabble your toes into this and get started, and you're not thinking short-term money, you're thinking just, this is a new world that I want to enter and get out of fiat. What we are saying, though, is that there are some that you can feel a little bit maybe more secure around because they've been around longer, bigger ecosystems built out of them. Therefore, 16,000 cryptos aren't all on the same level. There is differences, and you might want to dabble your toes in with the more secure ones to get you started, so that don't be taking risks off the bat, and just dabble your feet in slowly with this and get comfortable. And you can do that. They're not all the same. and we'll talk you through what that actually interfaces looks like when we get on to the next practical session where we do want to get you up. But just in the interest of time, man, like, why don't we've spoken a lot about the myths and worries that they have, newbies, and we have intermingled that with, because we've played it off against fiat. But let's just maybe more quickly, because I think, yeah, a little bit more in depth with the myths and the worries to break down the defenses is important, and we've done that. Let's maybe just in a quicker way now run through like the pros, and we've touched on these already. So that okay, you've broke down my defenses. Give me that sugar candy. Give me that. You've hit me with a stick over fiat.
Heck yeah.
Give me the carrot to pull me into crypto. So crypto is more reliable than the fiat system, I would say. The fiat world crumbling. You've mentioned that your saving account in HSBC is doing nothing but vulturing you and taking more and more away from you in every single damn way. Whereas this DeFi and refi and everything in crypto is hopefully, if we can build it out this way, going to give more back to you and bring you in more, right? So that's
far more preferable.
Far more preferable than the shit we have now.
Yep.
Faster transactions. If you do want to pay Bitcoin or whatever at the hostel to pay for your room, faster, because it doesn't need to go through a bank. It's
how many
cross-border.
days
It doesn't.
does
You don't
that
have to
hostel
exchange.
owner have to wait for him to actually get the money that, that clears, right? Like, it all kind of happens differently in the background depending on in the SWIFT banking system. Y'all might not know this, but the Federal Reserve is still running its databases and computers on like old 80s IBC or what was the old ass computer company, and they refuse to upgrade. So I think it's inevitable, and I think they're gonna just like fork Bitcoin or some blockchain and just call it a CBDC, and then they'll just exercise more control over it. But man, there's so much, and we need people to join any crypto, right? Like anything is better than the state-controlled apparatus of finances, right? So that is first and foremost.
Just sorry to cut in, just in case the newbies that are listening to this, I know for a fact they won't have heard of for a CBDC. These F and Gs.
You're right.
CBDC, it's just state-backed crypto where they have tyrannical
central
control.
bank digital currency. Yep.
Bang. So what you just said, after that, we need anybody to buy into crypto, at least as a gateway into a new world, rather than the CBDC state-backed crypto. Yeah, we definitely say
we
that.
need you contributing to our network effect, not theirs.
Exactly. So gateway into this world, even if it's not the ideal start, because it gateways into our world. But let's break the practical. So what you mentioned there, that the old technology that the Fed are using now. Well, for the newbie listening, it's faster. Bang, because it doesn't need to go through a bank, doesn't take weeks on the merchant's end and all the rest of it. It's just dumb right there. You have your phone, you make the transaction, everyone knows it's done. But also, because it doesn't need to go through Visa and all these other processes, it's cheaper. There's less fees, right?
Depending on which blockchain you're using, you can get crazy cheap fees.
Right, but yeah, true. But even in the future, the aim will be to make it more efficient and cheaper. So even if there is some cryptos that you pay in little larger fees now, this system is only going the way of making it more accessible for everyone. So whilst the fiat system hasn't changed, has it? You still
if anything,
what have they done?
Jacking up their fees, keep extracting more and more value, and not returning any of that value back to you, because we know that we are the ones creating the value in all of these economies. Yet somehow it's all the hyper financialist banksters that end up with all the wealth and value. Is it really them creating all of that? No, it's us with our labor. Please contribute your labor to crypto. That's
Exactly.
what I want people to know.
Exactly, and every little helps, and every transaction you make, if we all did that, it would be money away from their system into ours. You know, building out that ecosystem again. Pay the barber if you can, if you have Bitcoin there or whatever. Pay him. Like it keep
If you're a
growing, this thing,
barber,
folks.
please accept Bitcoin for us.
Please, exactly, exactly, or whatever. It can be peer to peer. You can walk into the
Exactly.
barber and he wants bloody Ethereum, so
Yep.
or whatever. So
He
you
might
just roll,
value some weird coin you
yeah,
show him or some weird
right,
NFT a
barber
whole
coin.
lot or something. Wouldn't that
Yeah.
be crazy? Wouldn't that be wild to pay
you,
for your haircut with art?
yeah. Wouldn't it be mad? But it's not so mad in
It's
this
not
world
so
once you get
crazy
into
to
it.
think about, considering all the metrics
What
and data accounting that you have, that, you know, even if I don't know anything about this, so you show me an NFT, I'm your barber, and all right, hold on, we're getting a little bit down the list, so let me backtrack and say, what is an NFT? Non-fungible token. So a cryptocurrency, right? So a currency is fungible. If you have a coin, if you have a monetary system, you want that system to have a fungible thing. I don't care if this $20 bill is different from this $20 bill. They're both fungible. I can accept either $20 bills, and I'm not gonna care which one it is because both are worth the exact same value. That's the same for every one Bitcoin, one Ethereum, every 0.00001 of a cryptocurrency is worth the same as another. Non-fungible tokens, right, is data stored on the same blockchain, right, but it's non-fungible. So it's not a $20 bill, it's more like an art piece drawn for $20 by Bill. Makes sense? It's this non-fungible. It's one of a kind, and it's funny because they'll make 100 versions of a one of a kind non-fungible thing. I won't get too off the deep end on that, but the point is the token aspect, right? We have tokens of appreciation. You give someone a gift. Well, that's more than just the value of the gift now, right? Because there is a tokenization of my affection, of my appreciation for you when I present you with this gift, it actually it has a new qualia to it, right? It's a one of one version of whatever I got you. I got you a new Buzz Lightyear toy, but that Buzz Lightyear toy is actually worth more than the $20 I spent on it for you because you and I have an inside joke about the Buzz Lightyear. That's another example of something that's not art related. It's more social related, and that's where I think people don't give enough a definition on NFTs about non-art or creator related definitions, because a token is a very loose general definition, right? And you want to keep it that way. Why? Because in this crypto tokenomic, world network, we want way more possibilities, way more experimentations and iterations of crazy stuff. And NFTs are one of those things special to crypto, and it's just so beautiful, and it's not intellectual property, guys. Don't think of it that way. It's not that.
Yeah, let's try and bring that then back down to earth for the newbie. Then where we went from there, you could pay the barber in whatever he wants, and whatever he or she wants, and whatever he or she or whoever wants. It could be a crypto. It could be some. Let's just to try and conceptualize this for the newbie in as simplest way as possible. A cryptocurrency that we're talking about, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever. But what it could conceivably also be, and not to go down this rabbit hole too much, is some other thing of value that the barber or the hostel manager wants from you.
Could be a
that
service
you may
even.
or may-
I've seen service NFTs where, you know, come onto my podcast if you know, if you have this NFT, or you can exchange it, right?
Oh yeah, or share our Instagram profile, and we'll knock
Yep.
we'll knock a certain amount of BTC or something. Yeah, look,
Yep.
it's all these things, and their Instagram could be tokenized, their community, whatever.
So many.
Let's not
That
go down this rabbit
NFTs
hole.
is too big a
It's
rabbit
endless.
hole. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next. So let's just
Ooh,
round
better
this
for
up,
world
because
though.
I think
We don't
we've
want to
covered
skip that.
That's the next thing I was
Oh, okay,
getting
good.
to. So we have, let's sum up all the things that we've summed up so far. Pros: so more reliable than fiat. Fiat world crumbling anyway, as we all know. Savings rate in the bank if your initial plan is just to buy a little over time and you know, make a bit of money off it as your touchstone into this world. Better. Invest for the future. Invest for your future, for your family, for your local community together is way better off in this system than the shitty fiat system. Faster, more efficient transactions, no middleman needed, peer to peer, so forming all sorts of new relationships that we've just spoke about. Cheaper fees because of the efficiency of it and the lack of middleman. Payment in all sorts of new and wonderful ways that isn't determined by a centralized authority. But so those are the things we've discussed before. Better world. Let's get into how it is more democratic. That kind of comes from the fact that it's you and the hostel manager and communities and all these different types of value, rather than just US dollars and nothing else. So more democratic, more egalitarian. Everyone's taking part in deciding what value is. We're all brought into that mix and have a say in it. Environmentally friendly, I think crypto, that means a lot of people. It means a lot to people. It will become more over time. And maybe the more important one, as relevant now, because a lot of those other things are a little bit more like how much and is it in the future and still to be built out. But right now, and I know this because I'm in Argentina and have been in the global south, it's bringing in new people in new ways, and when in ways that the fiat system doesn't. Now, we would say that it's bringing in new people to a new system. Sounds great, but it's how you do it as well and what that new system is. But we've also said on this episode that we think crypto, get people into crypto is better than fiat anyway. So and egalitarian, bringing new people in from all parts of the world is a good thing. So if you're motivated by all those practical things and all those things before we get on to the better world, there you go. If you're motivated by all these different concepts, we've just summed them up as well. There's just so much going on, isn't there, man? Like,
and let's talk about how, you know, just in recent news, how crypto just displayed the better world they want to create, and how it wasn't done in a fully decentralized, autonomously organized manner, but it was very affected by mass public sentiment, talking, of course, about the ETH merge with proof of work and proof of stake chains. So the proof of stake chain is now finally up and running. Proof of stake, we're not going to get into the definitions of that on this pod, because frankly, you don't really need, the noob doesn't really need to know about that stuff. You're not going to interact with it unless you want to become a validator and you have $30,000 or something. Yeah, probably not. So what I can tell you, what I will say about it moving from proof of stake, right, is it became more environmentally friendly. Why did the Ethereum chain want to become environmentally friendly? Because we were getting shit on non-fucking stop by the mainstream media and by every, you know, progressive or leftist person that we would talk to crypto about. They're like, oh, isn't that proof of work thing that like wastes all the energy and like totally pollutes the atmosphere? Yeah, no. So one,
Yeah,
because of
exactly.
the networks that are being created, because of the collaborative coordination that is happening, they took those criticisms, and unlike your traditional motherfucking corporations and traditional fiat Federal Reserve systems who still run on 1980s equipment, and yeah, I don't have to go into more detail.
Yeah.
They will never change, no matter how much you complain and protest and whatever. They don't give a fuck. If it makes them more profit, they're gonna do it. So back to kind of that conversation of the difference in the kinds of economies that are being built. So just jumping in and supporting the Ethereum chain, right? So if you buy Ethereum and you're supporting them, right? You're donating them your fiat dollars in exchange for their awesome coin, right? You are enabling them and signaling to them that, hey, I love what you guys are doing. You don't have to say it directly. We know that, man, that was awesome what you did here, knowing that proof of, and there's all kinds of stuff I can say about proof of work not being that excessive of an energy waster, but I'm also solar punk. I'm all for any kind of cutting down on energy we can do anywhere, right? Like that's an end all, right? I want as few pollution and energy wasted as conceivably possible, right?
So
them listening to that and deciding as a collective, right? Like you were saying, this was just such a good example of that happening in real time.
So that for the noob who's wondering, is it a better world I'm creating now by jumping into crypto? Yeah, that's what Alchemist is saying there. That's your point, isn't it? Like,
you're
it's
supporting
like
more bottom up governance, right? You're supporting constructive criticism from the masses, and you're getting consensus from a way broader base of people than has ever been done, even in the co-op model, right? So there are very large cooperatives, but they aren't wrestling with the kind of governance and consensus mechanisms that crypto is wrestling with and trying to solve.
So, listen, for the newbie listening right now, we've been through the worries. We've broke those down for you. We've let out the positives that get you into this. The more practical positives. We're now saying that when we talk better world, for those of you who are motivated by better world, or both, but maybe more so better world, on this point we're saying not just crypto is a better world, but we're saying, and we're not just saying it will be, we're saying it is now, things are happening now, but also on the newbie level, speaking right to you and your friends, by you taking the steps that we're about to walk you through, you're proactively, like you mentioned, Alchemist, earlier, voting with your dollar.
You're seizing back your autonomy.
Right. You are creating the better world by the actions we're about to get you to take. You're doing your bit to bring this world about, even in the small ways that we're about to get you started on. Think about the ways that you will later on when you're jumping up those levels we're talking about. So you're I mean, and this is important because like our generation and our newbies to this and all the rest of it are like, ooh, when I buy fucking, I don't know, like Amazon stock, I'm not building a better world. Like,
no, you are not.
Unique. Crypto is unique, and this is what another friend advised me to get this message across. Like, yeah, get them in, and how are you going to advise them on what to get in on? And I like, and we've been through the be safe, secure, and pick the safe, secure ones and all the rest of it. But think about what's important to you as well.
Right.
What are you interested in? What do you want to?
Find the chain that represents that. I'm sure you'll find it.
Exactly. Find what your hobby is. Find what your interest is, and go on a Google search. What crypto blockchain is working on social media decentralization, or this, that, or the other, and you'll find it. Google will bring it up. Do some research. You'll go down your own rabbit hole. You'll see your mind come alive with interesting things. Then you'll go, doing my own research, I'm going to get this one. I feel comfortable about it. You'll see everyone starts in different ways in this journey, but and our generation especially, and the people that I meet in newbies are like motivated by a lot more than what our bloody boomer generation parents would have wanted.
Oh, yep.
That's what we're saying now. All these motivations, bring it all together. You have your practical, you have your better world. We've talked about how you can do it, and what that means. Now we're actually going to walk you through the steps. So shall we get on to that? Alchemist, we've been building up to it now.
We've been going 2.5 hours, but you and I, we really go hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
We go hard. We go hard. We'll clip the best moments.
We have clips for months now.
We do.
We have months of clips.
I think this next one might be the best clip.
Yeah, this is where the real meat and potatoes are.
Potatoes. Yeah, this is where the down to the bare bones of it, the brass tacks, is it? Yeah.
Yep.
And let's pop the balloon, shall we say? Because we've been leading up to
pop
this.
Their cherry, you mean?
Pop people's cherry, but also like pop the balloon and pop the cherry. Pop the balloon.
I've never heard it said pop the balloon though. That's funny.
Well, pop the balloon means take the air out of it, and what I mean by that is like some noobs who've been listening to us, or who have been maybe listening to these clips and are getting on to, all right, they've been leading up to how to actually get involved in crypto.
They've been talking for 2.5 hours, a whole shit lot about nothing I can utilize.
Nothing I can actually do.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the friggin' clip on just get started?
Yeah, that's right. We clipped all the best parts for the last 30 minutes of a 3-hour podcast.
Exactly.
We showed you 30 seconds, and you've been waiting this whole time to hear. Where was that part that I saw on TikTok? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I almost want to explain this pop balloon now because I've blew it up. Ironically, what I want to get across is that getting set up on crypto is believed to newbies to be, oh, that's another world. Where do I even begin? Once you know what's involved, it's really rather easy.
It's pretty easy, and it's getting infinitely easier. Especially year over year. My gosh, can I tell you sometimes about when it was not easy? It was very technical, but those days are far over. Far done.
So let's walk through it. What you'll do, you'll grab your phone from your pocket, you'll download, say, Coinbase app or Kraken app or Binance app.
Kraken, Binance, Gemini. I use Uphold. I also like Edge. Here, let's just both pull out our phones and just kind of shout out maybe what kind of dApps you have.
Well, we could, but let's keep this moving because I'm thinking about this being a clippable moment. So,
all right.
So bang out the phone of your pocket. Go to the iStore, Apple Store, whatever. Take Coinbase, download it. Gemini, download it. One of the two. And broadly, we don't have to go through every single step. And you catch me if I'm saying anything wrong here, Alco. But you'll follow the steps, and the steps will be kind of similar to what you do when you're setting up a bank account. You'll put in your personal details. They'll ask you for a passport copy. That's the KYC element. We'll talk about that in a little bit more depth in a second. They'll ask you to link your fiat money bank account. That will not take too long depending on the app that you're doing it through, but they will link together, and that's basically for you to send money from your bank account to the crypto app. Thereafter, you will transfer money over to the crypto app. Your money will show in the app. There will be a list on the app in Coinbase, for example, of cryptos that you can buy. And you will pick a crypto after you've done your own research and everything that we spoke about. And you will put in what you want in fiat money, the value in fiat money that you have in the crypto wallet now, transferred across, and that will show up in the crypto what it's worth in crypto. So as we said earlier, I don't know, like say you want to do $10 or something like this, it will be 0.0004 or something like that. So don't get scared of that. That's just normal. And it'll be something quickly like buy Bitcoin or buy Ethereum. And really, I've cut that down to try and make it into a clippable moment. I'm not sure I've missed much. No. I mean, it's mostly common sense, but that's broadly it, noobs. That's broadly it, newbies.
And you might want to add the last step is moving that crypto from the exchange onto an actual wallet. I would say that's the final. Even if you're a noob, I'm sorry, you want your temptation is to treat this like a bank account, and you're gonna want to trust Coinbase with all your crypto and all your blah blah blah. No, please save yourself the heartbreak now. If you're really in this for the long haul, you need your own wallet. Cold wallet or hot wallet, we'll get into it. But yeah, that would be the only thing I add at the end there. You can keep some crypto, a minority of your crypto on an exchange. But if I want you to practice safe sex. I want you to practice safe crypto storage, safe storage, and you need to own those keys. You need to have them, and no one else needs to know about them. They need to be written down on a piece of paper. They absolutely fucking cannot be on your Google Notes or something, or your Dropbox file or something. No, don't do that. It needs to be
Let's take a step back because the noob is probably
getting a little lost. Right. Let's rewind back a bit because
let's rewind, but let's pinpoint where we.
So we got centralized exchange, or no? You said KYC with passport stuff. So did you already explain that one then?
Yeah, no, we're good. Let me bring it back to where I think the noob may have just need a little bit more explanation to the crypto wallet. Noob. So just the difference, let's just bring it out a little bit. So we've walked you through the process. Let's just explain it a little bit more. So the Coinbase app is where you will just make the purchase of Bitcoin or whatever. And what we're just saying is to get onto your crypto hot wallet will be the downloading of another app. Simple again, download an app. Could be Coinbase wallet. Let's say that.
Rainbow.me. That's another good example. MetaMask.
Yeah. MetaMask. So what you'll do is you'll just send the money off the exchange to the crypto wallet, and why you do that is what Alchemist just said. It's just safer in your own wallet. Your wallet is yours. It's not the exchange's. So it's just to make an analogy.
If we're going to talk for 2.5 hours about the benefit of this crypto world over fiat, well, you're going to have to exercise from some of those benefits, which is, this is the most amount of control likely someone has ever had over their money, aside from the money just being cash in their mattress, right? And even that cash, they don't really have that much control over. Anyway, won't get to, but this is the equivalent, right? This is you physically own it. No one aside from torturing and getting your keys from your head can steal this stuff from you. And that's crazy.
And that's it, yeah, and that's bring that out even a little bit more, and because newbies are probably wondering, hold on a minute, I just spent my money, it's mine. No, 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 no. And this is a lot of people don't know this. Like if you, it's until you get into that crypto wallet, centralized exchanges still can take it from you in
They
the
have
event of
lost crypto time and time again.
lost.
They
If they go down the
do such a
shitter.
disservice to the crypto name, because you always hear about these hacks, when in reality, no chain, not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, has been hacked like that. Like the core chain protocol, right? But the proof of work or the proof of stake, safety, whatever I'm trying to say, right, has never been hacked. But these centralized exchange mechanisms and points of failure have absolutely gone sour. And no, those people do not get their crypto returned to them. But if you have, even if you have a hot wallet is not as safe. So let's go a little bit. So a hot wallet is safer than the exchange. But yeah, you go.
No. Well, I'll let you finish the thought, but because that will lead us down that rabbit hole that we need to get to. But I was just thinking, like, the newbie is probably thinking maybe at this stage, okay, so centralized exchange is scary for the reasons you just said, that not safe. So get into the hot wallet. Is there a fee to get it over the hot wallet? No, there's not a fee. Don't worry about that.
Sometimes there will be, depending on the centralized exchange, because you're using the network to send your crypto to another wallet. So you're not shifting crypto in the same wallet, right? And also remember, some centralized exchanges do give you your keys and don't hold and don't custody the keys either. So that's a difference between some centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. Is some they custody the keys, and then some they let you. So like what you just asked, you wouldn't have to offload your crypto into another hot wallet. The hot wallet is in the exchange. Does that make sense?
Yes. So that it's safe within the exchange. The wallet's connected.
Because you have the keys, but not all. Coinbase, I don't think, is one of those that gives you, unless it's Coinbase Pro, maybe. Cash App is absolutely not one of those. They do not give you your keys.
So for the newbie listening, check out that. The point is to get it into a hot wallet. Yep. That's the most
imperative thing.
Don't leave it with the exchange. And take a look into whatever app you're downloading, what the trade-off is there. Because as we said, there's many different exchanges, many different wallets. You want to get it into a wallet, have a look at the most efficient and cheapest way and safest way for you to do that. But that isn't a lot of work. You can find that out pretty quickly. A lot of people are doing it. Just do a bit of research on Google and just go ahead and do that. Let's get into what you just said, the difference between, let's take it a step further, but not too much, just outline it for the noob, because for the noob, cold wallets I don't think are going to be that important, but just to give them a conceptual difference in their head, what the difference broadly of what hot wallet versus cold wallet is.
All right, so first I think I should go a little bit over the centralized exchange versus decentralized exchange, and then it'll lead really good into the cold and hot wallet conversation. So centralized exchanges, that's where exchange is happening, right? On one side of the order book, there's crypto, and on the other side of the order book, there's fiat money, right? So we're all trying to obtain crypto, and a centralized exchange is one where it's I don't know if you're too noobish to know, but centralized meaning there's a company, there's an organization that is booking and making all of these orders. What's bad about that? Well, sometimes there's under the counter, there's OTC deals where that's not on chain, that's not with the whole flow of the market, right? So you're getting a discount or something. There's also maybe they have a little bit more added trust, a little bit more added legitimacy, being a legit company or corporation, right? But that's a centralized exchange. It's gonna be most of what you interact with. They're gonna be the easiest because they're the ones who get all that juicy venture capital funds. Decentralized exchange. Now, think of that corporation that I just described to you, right? They're the Coinbase, the Gemini. They've got offices, they've got a CEO, that kind of stuff. They ask for your information and that kind of deal, right? You mind muting yourself real quick? You're going really loud.
Oh, I put my phone charger in and it muted me.
Oh.
I have to do that. I have to be a little bit aware then that my battery on my phone's gone down. Whoops, I didn't realize that would be the case. It's okay. I think we're at 25%, so we're good.
All good. So, thinking of our decentralized exchange, right? Now, take out that middleman, that company, those CEOs and whatnot for the centralized exchange, and just make it peer-to-peer. So think of peer-to-peer, and you have a pretty good idea on what a decentralized exchange is. And so that's all the orders. Now, leading into cold wallet and hot wallet. So a centralized exchange is going to hold all of these funds. Most likely, they're going to be switching them around with hot wallets. Hot wallet is where I generate the wallet, and what makes it hot is it's connected to Wi-Fi. It's connected to data, the internet. It's why so hot is because the only way for me to steal your crypto without, because there's all the whole thing about us being trustless and permissionless is because no one can hack and steal your money without your permission. How someone can hack you is by getting your 12 to 24 word key phrase, right? And so, if you're, dang, why am I? Can you mute, Alex? You're going. It is.
Yeah, because yeah.
No. I said, can you mute yourself?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. All good. So, if you're moving from the centralized model to the decentralized peer-to-peer model, and I was talking about the hot and cold wallets. So hot wallet is you're connected to Wi-Fi, you're connected to data, right? And the only way that you can get your funds stolen is someone steals that passcode and is able to gain access legitimately into your wallet, and then boom, your crypto's gone. So essentially, it's like them stealing your PIN code for your credit card, right? They can't hack the card without knowing the PIN code, right? That's going to be the same thing with the hot wallets. Is there's a potential chance that some hacker can find some bit of data, or they can be sniffing around at different packets or observing you, right? And they can boom grab your passcode, your keys, right? Or maybe there's some kind of vulnerability in the hot wallet that you're using, and all of the keys get leaked. That's also been something I've heard of. So what is cold storage then? To generate the 12 to 24 basically key, right? Every key has a different kind of shape. So if while making the shape of your key to your wallet to open and access it, if while doing that you're not connected to the internet to anything online whatsoever, that is a cold wallet. So you have to have special hardware, or you can even do it with just like a regular laptop that is totally disconnected from all Wi-Fi, all data networks altogether. You can generate a cold wallet passphrase that way. But a good example of a cold wallet storage device is Ledger, the Ledger Nano S. So you're avoiding that teensy ounce of possibility of someone potentially stealing your key phrases from the hot wallet process. You're basically negating that and making it completely impossible if you use a cold wallet. And keep in mind, you have to use a cold wallet properly. So if you have a cold wallet, but then you write your keys down in your Google Notes, well, that's no longer a cold wallet now, even though you have the storage device, right? It's now a hot wallet because you're an idiot and you put the keys on your Google Notes or something. So if someone breaks into your phone, they now have the 24 passcode to steal from your. They don't even have to have the ledger, the physical hardware piece at that point. They don't need it at all. They just needed the 24 words, so they can steal it right away.
Yeah, that's.
How was that newbie definition for you? I felt pretty good about it.
I think we hit the right balance there of like the essential differences, and there may be some newbies who are newbies, but like will want to use a cold wallet. So maybe
Totally.
not cold storage, but who knows? We're not.
Well, that is what a cold wallet is cold storage.
Yeah.
The coldness is
wallet
because
or
it's
cold?
never touched. Yeah, you said there was cold wallet, and then you
Cold wallet or
distinguished
cold
cold storage,
Oh, sorry.
which they're the
I-
same thing.
yeah.
Sorry, right. I didn't realize what I said there. We're not
There to decide what newbies will want to do. We're just giving them the sort of options that they can then take away and learn more about. But I think we hit that right balance there. So I think now we've walked from the beginning to the very end of simply the process that you have to go through. Let's talk a little bit. The only last thing that I think we need to talk about a little bit more, because we've touched on everything else throughout this whole chat in terms of how to buy, what to think about, and all the rest of it. The only thing I'd say we need to emphasize a little bit more for newbies is the investing versus trading thing. So let's not go into too much on the trading side, but let's make the distinction between the two, and let's set up DCA. So that's dollar cost averaging. So let's.
I
do
was
this
wondering
really quick
what you meant by DCA. That's funny. Yeah, to love
Yeah.
me some dollar cost averaging.
Yeah, and because I think that is the main thing for newbies touching this world. That's how they will interact with it. I have got 16% of battery, so I just have to be aware. I don't want to cut this off short. So this is one of the last things we have to talk about anyway. So, so basically, trading, folks, long story short, not to get into it too much, is when you're setting up trades kind of daily or regularly trying to make profit off buying and selling cryptos. We don't want you. We wouldn't
don't
recommend
depend on
that.
Do not recommend. That is gambling.
Yeah, and that's not how we want, or that's not how sort of beginners should get started in this world. But just to set out the differences in the terms, because for newbies, new people to this world, like the distinctions between those words aren't well known. So investing is different than trading. Investing is when you're thinking longer term, buying little bits, not necessarily little bits, but we would advise little bits, dip your toes in. And there's a specific, I just mentioned it, DCA, dollar cost averaging, the specific method of how you should do this that most beginners do, and they leave it. And they're thinking longer term, I should say, and it works for them. And it's safer, feels more secure, and they're more confident in exploring this space and not always getting stressed about losing money. So what this basically is say you'll pick a day during the week, can be any day, pick a time in that day, can be any time that fits you. The day and the time is not important. The picking of the day and the picking of the time is. And you'll sit on it, you'll pick an amount of money that you feel comfortable to invest. And we've been through how you should think about that and the risk and all the rest of it. But pick an amount you're comfortable to invest on this day and time, and do that every week or 2 weeks or every month, however you decide. But the point is, you're not trying to time the good and the bad of the market.
Don't be
You're
a
not
timer.
trying to time it. You're not trying to be a timer, what so many other fools try to do.
Greater
When the
fools.
Yeah, greater fools than even us too. Where they try to buy when the market is cheap, when it's low, when it's in the red, and they try to sell it when it's at the top, when it's green, and when they can get a profit. Just pick the time in the day, once a week, twice a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever is comfortable for you. And over time, this is why it's called averaging out. You'll maybe buy it high, you'll maybe buy it low the next week, but you'll average out over time. And that's the easiest way to do it. You don't have to get stressed about it. That's it. Boom. That's your tiptoe into crypto. That's when you feel comfortable, secure, happy, not pulling your hair out, not getting stressed, not having to worry about this, that, or the other. Just do that, noobs, do that, folks, and you'll be fine. And you'll have a more positive feeling towards this world, and you'll be less stressed. You can get on with your life, meet your friends, talk to your family, and all the rest of it, and live a happy life. And you'll feel more confident to explore and all the rest. So that's what we would advise. That's one of the main things we haven't covered yet, but we wanted to leave it until this stage when it felt more practical. Because this is when you're actually doing the practicalities. That's when you should be thinking about it. But that is so important. Don't try and time the market. Don't try and trade. Tiptoe into it and just set up this dollar cost averaging. I don't know if there's anything more to add there, Alchemist. I guess maybe the only thing that I can think is there's some platforms that you can set the day and the time for, and it'll algorithmically do it every week or every 2 weeks, whatever you set it to.
That's the bot trading, the trading bots and that kind of stuff, or are you talking about the coins that buy themselves or something that have the algorithmically?
I'm not sure, but I think you can set up your DCA on some platforms. I don't do it myself, but I think you can pick the day and pick the time that you want the same investment to happen every 2 weeks, and you don't have to come back.
Oh yeah, there's definitely, you can schedule your payments. I thought you were saying, oh, you can pick an algorithm like, oh, when it drops 20% in this amount of time. You know what I'm saying with the trading bots now, which I do not recommend the trading bots. If someone's trying to sell you a trading bot, that means it's because their trading bot didn't work to make them enough money, so they have to sell it to you.
Yeah.
So,
and there's loads of scams like that. We didn't get into too much earlier, but maybe we'll do another segment in the next part about this, where we dive into a wee bit more about scams. But be careful of those things, those Twitter messages coming through of people trying to get you onto this, sell you that. If wherever you see on your social media someone selling crypto, just stay the hell away from it. Just do the simple steps that we've advised and skip everything else. Just download the things that we've advised, tiptoe into it, do the DCA investment every 2 weeks or 1 week, whatever you
do the faucets like we were talking about, free.
All of the faucets. Yeah, all the faucets, check those out. But maybe the most rounded advice maybe that I can give the noobs is just slow and sure, take the cautious route. And the most important thing is that you hodl, get on board in this new system, and it'll open up new worlds, and nothing can go wrong. But don't think short term, think long term, and think sustainable, and think this is my tippy toes in. I'm gonna get a good feeling out of this if I'm just patient and wait and explore and grow, and that's it. Did I miss anything there with that? I think
I think that's it. You talk about dollar cost averaging. That's one way to earn crypto. And then maybe you should also add DAO cost averaging or DAO collaborative averaging. So as well as you're investing, right, your money, well, you should also invest your time, people. You should contribute some of your labor to some DAOs, you guys, or you should make an NFT or whatever creative hobby endeavor you have. You should try to sell. And then there's also I really want to encourage labor and contribution. If you can earn crypto, oh man, that's just so much better than buying it. I promise you, earning it feels so much more liberating. It's so much more satisfying. Definitely do that. And the best way you can do it is, one, following both of us on Twitter and jumping onto our Discords, and we will set you on some. I am always shouting out good DAOs doing good work. And so if you follow them on Twitter or Discord, or they've got all sorts of different ways that they collaborate, but you can find a DAO for literally anything. We won't get too deep into examples, but it's just, I think, another great avenue to mention that, you can't, because you can't earn a stock by going to work for Google for a second. You know, like I can't do anything for Amazon and get me some Amazon stock, but you can absolutely do a ton of that in crypto.
I'm so glad our minds are working so similar, because if you look at our notes from this, like the last kind of point I have was, and we spoke about it earlier, like it's the natural transition. Like, let's get the noobs, let's do an episode of the noobs where we reach them to the stage of just getting set up in the most simple way, but give them a little teaser of other ways they can interact with Web3 and DAOs. For folks who are listening who don't know what a DAO is, a decentralized autonomous organization, basically a crypto Web3 blockchain related project that brings everyone together, collectivized, and you can work for them, take part, all the rest. We'll not get into too much, but it would surprise you, speaking to the newbies now, once you've got as far as you have with us here and set up with crypto, you'll quite quickly find you're exploring things such as these projects and Discords, and you can contribute in many different ways. You can work, you can just contribute in many different ways. And as Alchemist said there, have a look at is there crypto projects you can start to work in if you're a web designer. I don't know, there would be any number of things, and how you would do that.
Yep.
How you would even practically begin to do that. Load up Google, type what you do in, type crypto projects, do a bit of exploration. You might join a Discord and just take step by step, and you might find that you're starting to contribute or work in crypto, getting paid in crypto. These things, once you take these first steps, you would be surprised how quickly things can go. So that's the thing. The other thing so there's that. The other things I have down here, and we can maybe come back to this in another episode, but you might, if anyone uses the Brave browser, that's Web3. That's earning you crypto tokens every time you put in searches. It's steadily building up. You can see what you're earning. These small ways you can start to just dabble your toes into this world. If you're a crypto creator, you can log on to Audius now, put your content up there, part of that community. That's Web3 as well. Then you have the likes of like Filecoin, Sia, if you want to. There are also crypto projects where you can basically rent out file space on Web3, earn some crypto tokens for that. There's
Lens Protocol, decentralized social media is insane. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get on though.
It is, but it's only going to get.
I think that was the right way to go, because so many other crypto social media projects tried to get off the ground, and it's like, because they're so small and niche at the beginning, they kind of just end up being a breeding ground for like 4chaners or something. So it's not good to just let anybody in while you're small, and that's kind of. I don't know. That's a funny thing to me, but oh man, just
Well,
naming a
network
couple
effects.
more, like Odyssey is a decentralized
Yeah.
version of YouTube. MetaMask is another good browser like Brave. Gosh, yeah,
I have live peer and Theta, which are video streaming,
do you have
equivalent of
is there a live peer
Netflix's.
app?
That's a good question. I think there's a Theta app.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's Theta apps.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
D Live, there's Status, there's PoApp, Beam Stage, Rareable Showtime. Gosh, I got a lot on here, don't I?
Oh God, there's loads. Right.
I got
Well,
Spatial.
maybe
Dang, the Nemesis. We're gonna need to do a stream where we just kind of like play around with a bunch of them together, like everyone just do it together. Anyway, yeah.
And these are all things, and we can put these in the show notes for people to just pick and choose and try a couple. But these are things that you newbie now can just look up, interact with, and even just take a look, or further than that, if you're a content creator or you like watching videos like we all do, or this, that, or the other, you can engage with them now. There's no complicated thing. It's just there.
It's like any other web app or iOS app interacting with. It's the same for crypto now.
Yeah, and exactly. And maybe one other piece of advice that just popped into my head: download. Wow, download the Discord app on your phone.
Yeah.
That's another practical.
And Telegram. That a lot of people use Discord or Telegram.
Right, exactly. A lot of people in this world use those two things, and they will slowly but sure. I found when I downloaded the Discord app way back when, it just spirals. It's just boom, 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 boom. So, yeah, I think that's a nice little touch at the end there. Like, on-ramp you onto stage 2 when we've just sort of like ramped you onto stage 1. So, it's an exciting world, folks. I hope we've done enough now. We'll clip this down as best we can so that you can listen 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Or if you choose to listen to this whole 3 hours, it's up to you.
I love you if you did.
Yeah.
I love you, comrade.
Chapter notes the hell out of this.
Yeah, we will. Holy shit.
But yeah, I think we've covered the most things that you need to think about for a newbie.
It's pretty expansive 101 episode, not gonna lie.
It was, but yeah, it's a lot more expansive than I thought, I guess. But yeah, for sure. There's loads to think about, but once you break it down, it's relatively simple, I think. So nowadays, anyway, the main thing is just dabbling your feet in and getting into this world and getting out of the fiat world, folks. Oh my God!
Get it out. Leave.
Get out of it. Leave it behind. Let it rot. Ugh, it's not doing anything for anyone. Okay. Yeah, dude, I think this was great. We'll do this up. Thanks for listening, folks. And
I'm gonna let the music play us out, bro. Or you want to shout out some social medias or something?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Oh, no outro?
Let's
I got my music going and everything, and we're not gonna outro?
What do you mean outro? In what way?
What? You don't know outro? Like the end of the podcast, like for the recording, you know, for the person listening, they know this is the end now. Follow me on Twitter at Alchemist. Follow me on TikTok.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. Follow us. Follow Alchemist. He's great. His content's wonderful. He also has a thing pinned on his Twitter that we've been using flat out, where he tells you everything.
Oh yeah,
maybe
it's true. I need to be
3.
promoting that more often. Go see my pinned tweet. Go see all of my Twitter lists and my YouTube playlists that Dude, I've worked like 2-3 years on all of those. Like before I started posting and all of that, I was making these Twitter lists and these YouTube playlists.
it's now is a grind that I can't even. It pains me to even think about that from my end.
So if you're looking, if you are not satisfied with the amount of 3 hours worth of content we gave you on this episode, if you're still not satisfied, go find my Twitter. It's ALKOHLMIST. That's Alkolmist. If you want to donate to me on Ethereum, that's Alkolmeth. That's ALKOHLM.eth. And yeah, check out my pin tweet because I really want to be collaborating with people and collectivizing basically content research and in content creation. So yeah, check out my list. Let me know what you think should be added to it, what you think should be removed. Tell me if you think a project is a scam on there. Go check out all the YouTube playlists. It's basically a whole 4-year university degrees worth of information that should satisfy all of your needs.
Yeah, from beginning to end, it's great. I can't recommend it highly enough. And yeah, man, I would just advise everyone who doesn't know us already, who might be listening to this, check out our TikTok. Probably is the best place to start to find out what we're about. Just type in Blockchange Solidarity on TikTok, you'll find us there. We've got some cool clips. And yeah, maybe we'll jump together again, man. I think we could probably do a whole lot of 3 hours, but maybe like an hour or 45 minutes on scams, because that's maybe something we need to delve into a bit more, like get people to avoid scams, what to look out for. So and speak about give maybe some examples. So I think this is a running theme for us. We both care about newbies and beginners and getting them into this world. There's always something to talk about. So yeah,
we'll need to name the next episode "How Not to Lose Your Shit."
Yeah, exactly. We know fine right the both of us gonna be thinking of titles to get shit.
Bro, this is so good. All right. Thank you so much, buddy. Alex. Thank you so much, dear listener. I'm gonna end it here. Play the song a little bit. Enjoy. Jam.
Take care, folks.
You too.
Take care.
I just want the